guys, welcome back to Black, White, and the Grays. My name is Kylie and I am so glad you're here. Today, I want to talk about something. Obviously, that's why I'm on this video. But I just kind of want to introduce myself to you for those who aren't familiar with this channel, and maybe you're new, maybe you're local, because this video is going to appeal to locals mainly. If you're not a local, you'll still enjoy it, I'm sure. But I wanted to make these set of videos in the next coming weeks just to really, I have a website that's up and has been up, but never have I had so many people contact me through that about gardening, or running into people who see me buying seeds, yes, in stores, and they're like, you're gonna try and grow these? Heck yeah, I'm gonna try and grow these. And I've been pretty bold this year in giving people my YouTube channel. Normally I'm kind of like not telling people about it, but I think it's time. I feel confident enough in my own skills that I feel like I can definitely help people that are moving here, that are new, or have lived here for a while and have just been told they couldn't grow anything. I keep running into people like this. You're going to hear me time and time again tell you that I have been told I can't grow anything here, and I'm going to tell you why they say that. We live in a zone 3. If you Google La Pine, Oregon, it says we are a zone 6. That is a complete, utter lie. Garden zonings only matter for perennials that are overwintering. Trees, berry bushes, plants, such like that, things like that. But if you're trying to buy zone 6 fruit trees or berries, you're gonna fail miserably because we're a zone 3. And we also have a frost risk all year round. So if you're new here, I had to tell somebody that this year. They're like, I just moved here from the valley, which when I say the valley and when I'm in Central Oregon, it means Portland, Eugene, Salem area. And I had to tell somebody that we have frost in summer, not just 1 or 2, but some years we get no frost until the end of August or the beginning of September. It's a very rare occurrence. But a lot of years we get frost all through July and August too. Sorry if I'm telling you this and this is your first time hearing it. But if you're a local and you are wanting to grow your own food, it is very possible. And the beautiful thing about where we live and the cold that we get through the summer is that we can grow a lot of cold crops all year, all season long, where a lot of southern states and warmer climates have to quit because they will have no success and they don't like the heat. Where we benefit is that. But also the trick is we live in a high desert. So we get frost in the summer. We have a very short growing season. We live in a high desert, so we can get that really extreme heat where it can be in the hundreds in the day and freeze at night. Yes, it can. I always say that there's been a rumor that I've heard that we've gotten a foot of snow on the 4th of July, but I actually have a friend who was here for that and witnessed it. So it's legit. We have an extreme climate, but while the things I want to talk to you about today are vegetables, food, I'm going to focus on food this season, are focusing on food, where to buy them, what brand of seeds I like, when to grow them, how to grow them, just a very basic, and I'm going to try and make these videos as short and concise as possible. This might be one of the longer ones just because there's a lot of information I don't want to skip over. And first and foremost, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, is you got to start ordering your seeds. You got to start buying your seeds now. It's January. It's a little late, to be honest with you. I prefer to buy my seeds in November. That's when they put out their it's illegal for shops to keep selling. That's why you'll see the stores clearance their seeds in October, because come November, they cannot sell them legally. Their last year seeds. I'm going to say this with a caveat, but seeds do not go bad. If they're wet, if the pack gets wet or damp, yes, they can go bad. But if they say they are for growing season 2022, do not throw them away. Keep using them. They can stay good. There's some seeds that have the longevity more over than others. Like an example is onion seeds. They really do well. Their germination rate, meaning the rate at which they sprout, a germination rate, goes quite a bit down year after year after year. Onions really benefits from having fresh seed, and learning to grow it from seed is beneficial. A lot of people buy starts, and that's okay. Sets, that's okay. But I am going to encourage you, highly encourage you, to grow everything you grow from seed. your own seed. That's why it is of the utmost importance that you go and buy seed now. Now, here's some places in La Pine and Bend in our local area that you can go and get seed that I have found are just more than fine. Number one, in La Pine, well, there's 4 places actually. There's 5 places in La Pine that I know of that I regularly have bought seed from, 2 of which are the dollar stores. We have the Dollar Tree. They have this variety where you get 4 for $1. They do great. You do get less, but the quality is there. They have mainly heirloom seeds. And for anybody who's wondering, an heirloom seed has to be the exact same. So say it's a tomato. I'm not even going to talk about tomatoes today, but this is an example. There's a tomato, and that tomato has been the exact same tomato for 50 years from the seed that it came from. So 50 years it takes to be an heirloom. So that's what it means when it's an heirloom. If it's a hybrid, it just means that recently people have been breeding different tomatoes and making a hybrid. It is not a GMO. It is illegal to grow. It is illegal to sell GMO seeds to a home gardener. Also, they don't want you to buy their seed. They want the big farmers. So don't worry about GMOs ever. A hybrid is not a GMO. It is what they've taken heirlooms and messed with them and bred them to be more disease resistant for certain areas, to withstand the cold better, to withstand the heat better, to be able to grow in greenhouses better, all to resist certain pests. They're very good. And actually sometimes hybrids are better, especially for our location, because typically an heirloom, the old quality heirlooms are grown, they take a longer time to grow. Now, I love growing a good heirloom tomato or a good heirloom. You're going to see a lot of heirloom varieties in here, and that's good. But the hybrids that are being bred today and in the last 20 years are going to be our generation's heirloom seeds. So a hybrid, once it becomes stable and keeps going and going for 50 years, then it's an heirloom. So don't be freaked out by hybrid seeds. They're good, they're great, they're amazing. And keep your seeds dry in a cool, dry place. I just keep them in a cabinet in my living room. It's not very cool, and they do fine. So anyway, I want to talk about what we can grow in Central Oregon, specifically La Pine, but also anywhere in Central Oregon. And this would pertain to anybody in any climate for spring growing. But for us, we can grow it all year round. Well, season round. And we can start in April. So I like to start, I have started in March. As soon, they say, you're going to hear a few different terms. They're going to say, when the soil is workable, plant this seed, or wait until after your frost. If it says as soon as the soil is workable, it is a frost hardy plant. If it says wait until your last frost, which keep in mind, we don't have one, and tentatively it's June 15th, then it's going to need cover in our summers, and you're going to have to be willing to go out every night that there's a frost risk. And when it says it's going to be 38, you better go cover it, because typically the weather report, we go down about 10 degrees colder than what the weather actually says. So you have to be on the ball. If you're not willing to do that, then you need to get a greenhouse or grow cold hardy crops. Now, I told you there is a caveat, and I may have went into it a little bit, but it gets hot here. So cold crops, frost hardy crops, also do not like the heat of what we have in Central Oregon. So there's some that need protection and some that don't. And I'm going to classify those, and so I'm going to tell you all about them, and you'll learn. In our small garden, you can go back on videos, and it has some pine trees and a little bit of shade. It does great. If you have one space, and in our market garden, which is outside of us, I left a few pine trees, so in 5 years, they'll be able to give us some shade in this garden. But and the majority of this bigger garden is completely full sun, which is amazing for onions and leeks, and chard even likes it, heck. And then other things, when it gets a little too hot, like peas, if they're on a trellis, they can scald. So I put a little frost cover over them, and it helped protect them. Also, a little bump up your watering for shorter periods of time throughout the day, and it'll help get them through, help cool it down. So yeah, there's things you can do, but for now I'm going to be focusing on, I'm not going to go into all these details. There'll be plenty of more videos coming your way that I will focus in on different things that happen. But for now, what you need to know is it is extremely easy to grow here without a raised bed, without frost cover, without a greenhouse. And you can do it all this year for very affordable. I'm gonna show you what I do. So I love in-ground gardening. It's my favorite. I don't have any raised beds. Some of my beds, because how we do our no dig, we keep layering the compost. They're starting to look like raised beds. We do not disturb the soil as much. We try to, not as much as possible. Meaning I don't have a tiller. You don't have that back-breaking labor. Fortunately, where we live in La Pine, other places in Central Oregon gets pretty rocky. But here, if we find a rock, it's like, oh, praise the Lord, because I would like a few more rocks to be able to do stuff with, but I will take what we got where we don't have many rocks. And if you do find a rock, it's going to be a lava rock. And that is because we are in a volcanic area. You need to be aware of this. Just be aware of your surroundings and know where you live. There's 4 active volcanoes in Oregon, and we are surrounded by 3. There's Crater Lake, the South Sister, and actually the whole sister mountain chain, and Newberry, which is Paulina Peak. And those are all very active volcanoes. And there's all the other mountains around us are also volcanoes, but they're considered inactive. But you need to be aware of that, and that is why our soil is the way it is, because it is pumice. It is a volcanic ash soil, and all the volcanic thingies. So one, it's loose. So when you dig a hole, if you're trying to dig a hole, it keeps going back in on itself, which is a positive and a negative. For this half-in-ground greenhouse, negative, but it was very easy to dig the hole for it. The other amazing thing is, as long as it's not in a compact area where it's been driven on or walked on quite a bit, you can grow root crops in it very easily. That's a benefit. Every year you grow root crops, though, it really just aerates your soil and meaning you don't need to have a, what is those things called? You step on it. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, you don't need to have a lot of equipment to grow food here, which is great. And you could be of any age. My grandfather used to till and bake back-breaking work. And I remember when I started the small garden, he just couldn't believe that I grew all of this food without tilling. And it's just an amazing principle. Now, I encourage you to do whatever the freak you gotta do to get food growing in the ground this year. Between food prices, uncertain economy, what have you, get your food growing now. It's of utmost importance. And it's difficult in this area if you don't know what you're doing, and if a lot of people have told you can't do it, but you can. So I'm going to show you some basic food items you can grow without a lot of help. Might need a little assistance, like I said, for the heat, but I'm going to teach you also about succession sowing. All of these things can be succession sowed, meaning you start it, and all of these things are direct sowed, meaning you put the seed directly into the ground, except for one thing. I'll tell you about that. You can also start your seeds with them. That's okay. Like put them in your house, put them in a greenhouse if you have that. But if you have none of that, which I didn't for a few years, then it's okay. All these things will grow. It'll just take a little more time. Succession sowing, you're going to say you put them in the ground April 15th. Then in 2 weeks, May 1st, you do the exact same plant. Let's do lettuce. You planted lettuce April 15. You do the exact same plant May 1st. You do the exact same plant May 15th. Succession. One after the other. You're succeeding. Okay. And one, that means you will always have produce all season long. And it also means when it gets hot and your lettuce wants to go to flower, or any of these cold crops want to go to flower, you will have the next one 2 weeks behind. Now, the later in the season, the faster the maturing of the crop, you can wait 3 or 4 weeks. But always keep going. And that is what I am always striving to get better at, is succession sowing. It can be done well. And I have done it on some things, and other things I have failed drastically on. And some things you learn, you might not need as much as what you think you do. Lettuce is a great thing to succession sow because it can get very bitter when it's in the heat. But if you have fresh batch going, boom, 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 fresh lettuce, not bitter, and it's delicious. Okay, so one thing, I have a bucket of seeds I pulled out just to show you all what you can grow. Like I said, no raised bed, no frost cover, no tilling, none of this. But also, there's more than what I'm telling you, and there's more. This is just a tip of the iceberg, and we're going to go for it. So the first thing I'm going to pull out is my giant bag of peas. These are Oregon Sugar Snap. I like to grow things that have Oregon in it, or early Cascade tomatoes, or Oregon Spring tomatoes, or Oregon Sugar Snap peas. They appeal to me. I'm in Oregon, duh. And I figure if they're grown in our state, they have good success here, but also they're probably for the value. So well, these do great for me. These Oregon Sugar Snap Peas, these are from a seed company called Johnny's. Johnny's is an excellent company. I highly, highly, highly recommend them. I get all of my bulk buying seeds from them. So what do I buy in bulk? You may ask. Peas. I buy onions, cabbages in bulk, beets in bulk, carrots in bulk, and Johnny's is, we did a lot of market gardening for vegetables. We have since come away from that with the profits just not there where we live. A lot of people who are growing their own food and are willing, or a lot of people who are willing to pay the price for that are growing their own here. So it makes it a little more difficult. We are in like a more retirement town. There is a lot of younger people coming to town that are more interested in that, but that's just in the last year or two since COVID happened, and before that is when we were selling produce, and it was very hard to get the price you needed to make it worth your time. So Johnny's is where I got all of our seed for that. They don't have free shipping. It's $200 or more is free shipping. I've always gotten free shipping. Let's just say that. Things are a little more expensive. They specialize in hybrids, great for pumping out production. You kind of get away from the specialty crops, which is kind of the really fun part about growing food, like this pink plume celery. This is from Seed Savers. You can get this seed at one of our local, it's Cascade Landscape Supply. It's on the corner of 31 and 97. Emily owns it. It is wonderful. I love Emily. I love that shop. I go and get some compost there, and they sell Seed Savers, which is a great company, which I had bought from before. They actually sold them there, and it's just a great company. They really love heirloom quality seed, and they really focus on saving seeds, which I think is very valuable. Save your seeds, people. Celery we can grow here. It likes it cold. Well, it likes cool, wet. It loves water, water, water. So put it in a cool area. Now, these are kind of some unique crops. I had to delete some footage around here. I guess I'm getting a little long-winded. Haven't even started. Asparagus. You can get asparagus crowns, or you can grow it from seed. If you grow it from seed, it takes like 5 years. This is not an exaggeration. They'll start coming up, and they'll be teeny tiny, and they'll go into these plumy things, kind of like a tumbleweed-ish, and don't cut them, just leave them, let them be. They'll put some of them will have berries on them. I think the male ones, they can get berries on them. Anyway, so if you plant them from seed, 5 years. If you get some crowns, that's what they're called, crown, they will take less. You'll still, sometimes some people say within a year. I would say 2 to 3. But use your own judgment. It's your frickin' plant. You can do whatever you want. Another category we got going is herbs. So we can grow a lot of herbs. I'm actually growing a lot of herbs in this greenhouse, even if they are frost hardy, just to have like an herb place for them, because they get neglected because I have so much other things going on. I neglect them, but when they're in here, they don't get neglected as much. A lot of herbs that we can grow. Calendula is one of my favorite. It's an amazing medicinal, great in teas. Mints. Oh, all the mints. You can grow all the mints, which I did. And I have a huge, awesome tea collection of my mints that I've been growing. Thyme. It's wonderful. Cilantro. They also, any seed packet I'm showing you, this is just a variety. This one comes from the Dollar Tree. Then this is Baker Creek. Rare Seed Company. Rareseed.com. I patronize them all the time. They're one of my tops. Dill. These are just a variety. Parsley we can grow. A variety of frost hardy herbs we can grow to make flavorful things, pickle things, make teas out of them. Very medicinal things we got going on here, people. I already talked to you about peas. All right, next up, beets. When I first started growing food, I got a book, and I highly recommend it to you. They sell it at the Lapine Chamber of Commerce. It's by a local author called Linda Stevenson. It's called Cold Climate Gardening. You can get it at the library as well. Linda, I know Linda personally, and I was reading her book, I was highlighting it and making notes for myself, and I planned it all out. My first garden, well, after I failed a lot, so my first garden, the one that actually worked good here, once I got the hang of it, I would email her and I'd be like, yo, Linda, you say you can grow Danvers, but do you think I can grow this variety and this variety and this variety? And she was like, I've never tried it. She just stuck to the basics, is what she knew, and that's great. I branch out quite a bit more, and I grow all the colors and all the things, and I'll grow a black carrot, a purple carrot, a orange carrot, a yellow carrot, a white carrot. I'll grow all the things. Big ones, fat ones, some as big as your head, literally. And same with beets. You can grow the regular Detroit Dark, which I believe that's what Linda recommends, or you can grow an albino beet, or they have orange beets, yellow beets, or they have these giant mango beets, which can get up to 40 pounds, which are good for animal fodder in case your animal feed is getting outrageous. All the varieties you can grow. Okay, now let's talk about onions. We're gonna do onions, the onion family. You can do this Fairy Morris. This is a leek. It's in the onion family. It's an allium. This is the American flag leek. It is wonderful. It works great. This is Fairy Morris. You can buy it at Walmart, Bi-Mart, all the things. Great places. Works great. I don't discriminate against seed companies, obviously. I'm sure there would be some I didn't like, but I haven't found one I didn't. I showed you those asparagus seeds that have the red coating. Those, for some reason, the red coating ones, I can't get to grow to save my life. But I do use pelleted seed, and I'll show you that in a bit. Hardy, bunching onions, green onions type of thing, all direct sown. Leeks, direct sown, all the things I've shown you, direct sown so far. This is where we're going to get a little, I have direct sown onions. And this is where I'm going to, a couple videos back, which was a while ago because I had a filming break. But if you just go back 2 videos or 3 videos, you'll see my onion harvest of the year. And I have a lot of videos about onions because onions have been a big crop I really wanted to nail down. And this is a storage variety called Yellow of Parma from Baker Creek. Johnny's used to sell it. They don't anymore. But Johnny's has a variety called Patterson, which is a great storage onion, which is what I have storing right now. Not in a root cellar, just in a cold room that doesn't freeze, doesn't have heat. It's just kind of at the awkward back corner of my house. And I've made it into a little larder to store vegetables. Beauty about where we live and what we can grow all season long, a lot of it is storage crops, meaning you could put it up and properly store it for 6 to 9 months, up to a year, sometimes even over a year. And crops like garlic, which isn't here because it's already in the ground, you can do a spring variety, but typically you want to plant it in the fall. Shallots and leeks and onions. Onions, I do start from seed in my house. Actually, next month, February, I'm going to start them in my house. I could start them a little later and just start them out. Nah, I'm going to start them in my house. I want to make sure I get them good again this year. I have so many onions right now. I have over a year's worth. I need to start, I've been gifting them to people. I need to start chopping them up or making onion powder out of them. I grew a little too many this year. That's okay. I was so proud of myself. It's been such a dream to grow that. But I will start these inside. You can direct sow them. I have done it. I get bigger bulbs if I do it the way I'm going to do it. Even if you just start them in March in your greenhouse or a cold frame where you're outside, or take them outside for the day and bring them inside. Even if you do that, it's way worth it to start them from seed. Don't do it from those little bulb set things. I hate those things. They do nothing. And if anybody tells you different, good on them. But I tell you, I haven't had anybody tell me that they have had success with onions that grew bigger than this. I have a whole spiel on this on every other onion video I do, so I'm not going to go into it, but go back and watch those on literally every single other one I did, and you'll see my, I got issues. Turnips. I don't have any rutabagas, but if I did, rutabagas, they do great. They store, they do awesome. All right, now we're going to go into some carrots. Carrots come in all colors. I actually don't know this brand. I got this at Ed Hume Seeds. I got this at a garage sale. I also don't discriminate against buying seeds at garage sales. These are Danvers. These are a classic storage carrot. That's the one Linda had says in her book to grow. And then I'm just like, when you're so new and green, I assume you would, at me now, I'm like, okay, well maybe all people would get that. Like, it says you can grow carrots and she gives you a variety. I just thought that one variety is all I could grow. Wrong. Okay, so you can grow rainbow carrots. You can grow the storage carrots. I have pelleted carrots right here. There's 5,000 in here. These are the sugar snack. But my storage carrots, the Boleros, which I have 2 big bins full in my storage room, are all like, you snap them right now. I'm going to take you in there one day soon. And it crunches. It's a crunchy carrot. It's January. A lot of people say you can store carrots in the ground. You cannot do that here. You cannot do that. Some people will go out there with their shovel in the winter and dig up their carrot. You cannot do that here. It'll turn to mush. I did that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be cool. Store them in the ground. Yeah, joke's on me. Nope. This is one of my favorite carrots to grow. It's the Parisian market. It's so cute. It's like a little radish and it's tasty. It's tastier. It's my favorite thing ever. Also, if you do no dig, a no dig garden where you lay the cardboard down and put the compost on like 4 to 6 inches when you start out, if you do that in the spring, you can grow those Parisian market carrots right away. A lot of longer taproot carrots, like these guys, might not be able to get to the cardboard and they'll turn. And that, so the Parisian markets really work, or the ox heart ones, or a bunch of different varieties that are shorter and fatter. Parisian markets are the cutest little things in the world. And they taste fabulous. So, another great crop to grow is radishes. People say you can't mess that up. That's a lie from the pit of hell. You can. If you have way too much nitrogen, which is a lot of times the first few, these radishes would rather grow in our native soil than in a big bed of compost, basically. I've had to mix in some native pumice to grow my radish as well. That's okay. But I don't really like radishes, so I didn't grow them last year. I tried. I think they failed. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I don't water them good. And there's cool varieties like a watermelon radish. And what else? There's black radishes, purple radishes, orange radishes, white radishes, all the kinds of radishes you can grow. All right, we're going into a family of vegetables called brassicas. All right, brassicas are some of my favorites, and some I have yet to master. I will tell you that this was my first year growing cabbages successfully. I had a cabbage patch. It was pretty awesome. And I got a lot of cabbages, and we used a lot of cabbages, and I didn't store any. I will this year. It's progress, 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 people. I think my neighbor's working on his vehicle, so if you hear that, it's my neighbor. All right, so Brussels sprouts is in this family. My whole family loves Brussels sprouts, especially my husband. You can get a purple Brussels sprout. Wonderful, wonderful. You can store those as well, too. All right. All of these brassica families, well, maybe not. Well, you could in a way. Oh, there it is. This is the only one. Blue kale, any type of kale. Red kale, spiky kale, fluffy kale, frizzled kale, all the things. This is one of my favorites. It's classic blue curled Scotch. I love the Ragged Jack. I also love the Siberian kale, the red boar kale, winter boar kale. They're all good kales. We can grow all of them. And they do quite well here. Well, we're going to finish up this video and let my neighbor get to work on his... Good grief. Cabbages is next. Red acre cabbage. Not all vegetables are storage varieties, so keep that in mind. They'll say it if they are. This one is. This is why I bought it. Golden acre cabbage. Brunswick cabbage. We can grow all the cabbages. Cauliflower. This is an early snowball. You can grow this. You can also grow the orange. Yes, there's an orange variety, yellow variety, purple variety of cabbage. We can grow, or cauliflower. We can grow all the things. The whole plant is edible. Same with Brussels sprouts. Same with cauliflower, broccoli. You can grow the Romanesco broccoli with the blind green with the spikes. You can grow sprouting broccoli, the purple sprouting broccoli, the purple headed broccoli. You can grow all that. Swiss chard, grow that too. It doesn't like the cold as much as everything else. It can handle some freezes. It cannot handle a lot of hard freezes. It will suffer. But it can handle the heat better than it will bolt sometimes. But if you got a succession sow, you know. All right, now we're on to the greens. I kind of already started it with the Swiss chard. I don't really love Swiss chard. It's pretty though. All right, this Mizuna. I'm gonna grow this. Baker Creek sends you a free seed packet with your order, most orders. I think it's like 30 bucks or so. This is a Japanese green. Isn't it cool? Kind of looks like the pink celery, but a little bit different. Spinach. Shoot, people say you can throw spinach seeds out on the snow and that'll grow. Spinach does not like heat at all, and it will flower. It'll bolt. So bear that in mind. Succession sow. Or bok choy, pak choy. all the choys you can grow. Kind of similar thing with spinach. They like to flower easily. They really like the cold weather. Collard greens, you got it. You can grow it. Mustard greens, arugula, red lettuce, red and green lettuce, Salanova. This is some pelleted seed of butterhead lettuce, iceberg lettuce, romaine lettuce. You ever feel like Bubba Gump? Yep. People, do not be discouraged. Do not be discouraged by people that have lived into this community that don't know how to grow food, that tell you you can't, have tried and failed because they grew wonderful things over in the valley or over in Alabama. I don't care where they were. If they grew a ton, I grew a great garden in West Virginia without even trying, and it was tilled, and it was the weediest garden I ever grew, but it produced a lot, and I didn't know what I was doing. No deer fence, no nothing like that. Everybody can grow a garden where it's easy to grow a garden. And here, it's also easy to grow a garden. You just need to know how to grow the right things, which if you've made it to this far in the video, you do know how. You do know how to do it. I'll take you outside as my way back home. It's getting dark. It's not late. It's only like, I don't know, it's not getting late. It's getting dark. It's probably about not even 6 yet. Probably not even 5 yet. Well, it's probably 5:30. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys are encouraged to grow food this year. I hope do not be fearful. Do not be fearful of the times we are in and the prices that are getting high and things that are becoming more scarce to buy. Do not be fearful. Take it into your own hands and grow the food, because it can be done, and it can be done easily and economically without spending a ton and without breaking your back. Oh, it's only 5:18. It's early, but it's getting dark, you know, way up north. So, what are you guys excited to grow? Put it down in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions also in the comments. I get back to every single person that leaves a comment. For now, yeah. And be sure to check back some older videos and a lot of growing things that you could see in the winter. Right about now, if you're a local, it'd be interesting to see, I would think, to see a successful garden. Check it out. Thank you guys so much for coming along with me tonight. It was a pleasure to have you here with me on our farm dragonfly station in my half-and-crown greenhouse. And I will see you on my next video. I'm going to be posting a video a week every Wednesday, just like this, talking about how we can grow food in our area. These are your seeds to buy. These are some of our options of seeds to buy now. You can be as cheap or as crazy as you want, but you go get your seeds. Go get them right now. Walk, walk, walk. You can go get a bunch of seeds to feed your family at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Ace Hardware has botanical interests, which is one of my favorite ones. I had seeds in here from them, but oh, here we go. This pack, botanical interests. Ace has them, Wilco and Bend has them. Obviously, Fred Meyer has them too. Well, not botanical interests, but they have seeds. I don't shop at Target, but I bet they have seeds too. So go get your seeds now, before they sell out, because they will. Well, at least out of the variety you want. Speaking from experience. And I will see you on my next video. Bye, guys. Oh, it's Holly Jolly January. Oh my gosh, guys. I totally forgot to tell you that we can grow fava beans. I'm looking at them. They're all dead right now. But they are a frost hardy bean. And they kind of look like a lima bean. You can eat the pods when they're little, but they're great. But you can shell them also when they're big to save the beans. It is very much winter. And I saw my Christmas lights because I am a firm believer that if it's winter and dark and dreary, that we should have cheerful lights up. All right. Isn't the greenhouse so dreamy in the dark? So dreamy. Oh, there's one of my garlic beds. Yep. You can't tell. You can't tell, but it's there.